Up Now, a social experiment enterprise. Stop, listen, share. Everyone can make a difference. We are on a mission. Everyone should do something greater in their lifetime. Change the future. Be a proud member. Join us to support, volunteer, and donate.
Welcome to Stop Now. I'm Nate, and I'm joined by JK. And JK, this is a very special edition of the show this week.
Hi, Nate. Yes, I am quite excited and thrilled. And I never believed, you know that, like I'm not a believer. So it's almost an year. I could not have believed it, like when we started a year ago, thinking that like we are going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And you are the last man standing. I have to say that upfront and honor you with special thanks. And it has been a great journey and a wonderful journey. And I really enjoyed each and every moment of that. So what do we have, Nate, today?
I think that today, JK, and first of all, thank you. Like it's been a fun year, and shout out to everybody that's been a part of the journey. But I think today, what we're gonna do, JK, is just look back and think about, some of the things we've learned over the past year, which has been a year that has been different than any other year in the history of the world. We're going to talk about what we've learned, what we liked about the last year, what we didn't like, what changed for the good, what changed maybe for the worse, JK, and just have celebrate the fact that we made it a year, and we're here, and this isn't the end of anything. It's just the beginning, but we did want to kind of take a break and reflect on the last year, because again, like you said, like there's so much that we've all been through over the past 365 days. So I think that it's good to kind of take a step back and look at where you've come from.
Absolutely. Yes, that will be a wonderful thing. I think you are right, Nate. So the thing what amazed me was like during the course of it, like we changed a lot, not to an extent that we dilute our mission or vision, what we are trying to do, and we stayed on course. That's a good thing, I would say. And we had a lot of good memories. It's kind of a nostalgia, right? When you go back and visit your past and how you did. So I still remember you saying that like we don't play favorites, right? So my question is, like, if you have to pick your favorite episodes, like I believe we did almost a year, which means like we have done 52 or more episodes. And I just want to show that off, that like I was doing this mask thing and playing around like you as Nate with Melissa, and we are fond of her and missing her a lot. Hopefully she will come back from her movie career. I don't want her to come back, but still we had a star from our show, and those are there. So my favorite, I think you can pick, what do you say? Like, do you think we can pick 10, top 10, or choose 5 between each of us?
Yeah, I think if you take 5, I'll take 5, and that can be our top 10.
Yes, exactly, right? We can do that, and we can play those things, go on the memory lane and pick the moments, funny moments, or memorable or a tough one. You always tease with one, I know that. So this is what it looks like in our channel. Like I'll put this out for everyone to see it. It's a good start for a nonprofit with our mission to change the future. Everyone can do something greater. So that promo itself was launched, I believe, a year ago, right? Almost 1 year ago. We focused on COVID-19, right? The pandemic, it's so hard. And we all know that, like, we are still recovering, right?
Yep.
Just like recovering from religion, I would say, like recovering from the pandemic. Not everybody has recovered. So we did this promo video. This was the first one. And obviously that is going to be my favorite. And always, I never wanted to do the talk show. Since Nate, you are a professional, you are a broadcaster, you have this experience of voiceover, but I'm a shy guy. I never did this in my life. And they just pushed me like, okay, we don't get any volunteers. We don't have any freelancers. You have to do it. Like, we have no other choice. So that's how, like, I ended up doing that. And I would say, like, this is kind of my first favorite. Obviously, even if it is not good, I will play this out. And so this was like, I'll stop now because I am quite excited. So with Ted, I forgot his last name. Forgive me on that. Like, so he was one of the first few I met when we were like trying to onboard many of them in our team. And he and myself, we started off with the first episode. So that was my unforgettable memory because I would have never done this in my career. So this was my first favorite, and let's watch this.
Now, a social experiment enterprise.
Welcome to Stop Now. I'm J.K. Guru.
And I'm Ted. Together, we're your hosts for this week's talk show.
This is the first of many Stop Now talk shows, bringing you interesting news updates and true stories from around the world.
Before we go ahead, let me remind the listeners about our live talk shows coming soon.
So this is a short one. You can make fun of me, Nate. So I was so nervous. It's like I was even doing the reading from the script, and you can see my voice is like so changed, right? So, and even in the first itself, like we had the vision, right? Ted was mentioning like we are going to do many talk shows and it's going to be even live, which we did that. That's a good part. So this is my first and also like one of my favorites. I won't say like top one, but still it's my favorite. Now let's you.
I was gonna say it's funny just seeing where we started and where we are now. And so, you know, to kind of keep that going, like when I first started with Stop Now, we were basically, you know, doing podcasts, so to speak, where, you know, we were airing the shows on YouTube, but it was just me and Melissa talking, and you couldn't see us, but we were, you know, telling these stories and getting these things out. And then to see it kind of evolve to the point where we were doing live shows, it's just been really cool, JK. And so I think the first show on my list would probably be the first show Melissa and I did together.
I knew it. Like, and I think like the second was with Greg, if I'm not wrong. Like,
yeah, I want to say I did a show with Gary once.
Yes,
like,
Gary.
At the very beginning.
Yes.
And then I think one week it might have been just me at the very beginning. And then once we found Melissa, though, I think that's when we kind of got into a groove.
Yeah, let's dig through it.
On today's episode of Stop Now, we bring you another.
There's Gary.
Has been a major bone of contention in recent times.
Oh, wait. Okay, am I allowed to take a guess?
Of course, Nate. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't guess this one easily because I had to dig deep to get this particular topic for the show today.
Challenge accepted, Gary. Another issue has been on the rise in recent times, if not the issue of cryptocurrency or COVID-19.
Oh, Nate, you never miss the opportunity to tease me. But
So that's the Nate is always the most funniest guy in our team, and I will vouch for that. And he not only teases me, everybody else. So
Yes, not just you, JK. It was Gary, Melissa, Cole, everybody that was on the team could get teased. Shiva.
yeah, that was the first. I think what you said, like as your favorite. Like I'm trying to dig through our video list. So this week we are going to be a little bit messy. Never mind, and let's see like if that comes out well.
Okay, and I don't want to get into a hot button topic here, but do masks help?
Masks are an important way to protect yourself and others. Yes. If you wear a mask and socially distance from others, you will vastly decrease the likelihood of the virus spreading.
Okay, and is there any way of telling?
So this was the first, I think, your favorite, right? You and Melissa did that. And it was, I would say like, yeah, it was okay. Not bad.
I think when you can tell, when you got a rapport with somebody, and even like then, we were just kind of figuring each other out. Like I think it's like, okay, yeah, this could probably work with me and Melissa. And I think like that's when we kind of started to get the formula, and then we just after that, all we had to do was kind of tinker with it and figure it out. And then eventually, like you said, JK, once we started doing the live shows, I think, we kind of hit our stride.
Yes, Nate, I totally agree on that. And I would pick my second one, as you mentioned, right? So we did a couple, I think we did almost 10 episodes of podcast, right? So that was the thing. And then we started launching new projects. And H1B issues was one of the sponsoring board members' favorite. So we launched that campaign. And this was the one, like we went live. Even before that, like we had some attorneys, and those were also a favorite one for me. But then I would pick, this one.
Welcome to Stop Now. I'm Nate.
I'm Melissa. Welcome back, everyone.
We are doing the show live this week.
Yes, we are live. I'm so excited. Are you playing around trying to be a kid again, doing some kind of Halloween trick or something?
No, Melissa. I'm going to wear a full face mask from now on.
I see. But wait a minute. This is not Nate. Who is this?
Can you guess?
So this was like not even funny. I'll be honest with that. But I was not trying to enact something, and I really want to bring this guy back and interview again. It was my first experience live with interviewing somebody and with the H1B issue and playing around with Melissa. And Nate, you have to tell me, like, where did you go and what did you do? Like, do you remember, like on November 8th, you were, and it was a crucial time. We all know that, right? Because it was an election season, and we even vouched before that, like that we are going to get rid of Trump. That
yes,
we predicted that, and it was a hot topic, sensitive thing going on. The entire world was like so much in that time, I believe. So I just want your take on that. Like, this is one of my favorite.
It's funny. Like I always knew you wanted to be me, JK. I always knew. I had a feeling. But no, I think that like it's funny that we kind of forget all of the things that were going on at that time. Like there was just so much with the election, with COVID, with the kind of racial unrest, that was going on last year, JK, that like it feels like it's a different time, but it was just last year. And so the fact that, we were able to talk about it, and that show in particular, you were able to put on your Nate mask and be me for a week, and talk about these stories. I think it was a good episode for the audience.
Yeah, that I'm not sure like whether the audience enjoyed it or not. But for sure, like I enjoyed it. And what about you, Nate? Like now it's your turn. What is your second pick?
I think my second pick is and that's the reason I've got my camera off, because I went to the Stop Now YouTube page and I have to look at it, and my eyesight is not the best, so I don't want to be all up in everybody's face. So the next episode I'm gonna pick, JK, is from November 29th of 2020.
I guess this as well, right?
Yes.
I am right all the time.
Yes. That's why you're the guru. Like, it's one of my favorite episodes because it's the episode that we did for Thanksgiving, where we brought in all of the team members and Stop Now from all around, the world, and we got to talk about, just Thanksgiving and how the year had been for us up to that point.
Exactly. Yes. So that was, even in the early stage, for us to do that was exceptional, I would say. Like, we never thought that like we will bring in so many people from all over the world and connecting them on the same time zone and the same platform. And it has become a Zoom mantra. Like, everybody is turning towards Zoom, which is like, what, before 2020 everyone knows like Zoom means like zooming the picture on the phone. That's about it. And now everybody knows like to zoom in, and this was really a wonderful moment. I also enjoyed, and as we all know that like we had like few people helping us out, volunteering and freelancing, and bloggers like Ashwak, and I forgot some of their names, like even I believe Arumugam.
Yes.
Yep. Also one of my favorite guy, like who helped us out on and off. And he was there on my show as well when I tried to do something, like, as you said, like I wanted to be like you. I'm the big brother, but still you are my big brother. And though I'm older, I want to be like you, young and charming and nice and talking. So I always try to be like you, Nate, that's for sure. And even Akash, I have to thank him. He was the one who set up our website proper and helped a lot. So those are good moments. Like, yes, it's a good choice. I like that.
So what's your next moment?
I would say we just have 3 more, right? So I just have something like careful. I would say this one, right? This was why I picked this.
Yes, Melissa, we did it. We made it. We hit. So we can end the show right now. We can stop right now.
So not just the in you and Melissa going, as you said, like the rhythm and the bondage and how well you are taking the show. And I was so confident and relieved that like I can take a backseat. I don't have to do anymore. I have found the best host and co-host. Let them drive it. I was in that moment. This was when we launched the racism part and human trafficking combined together, and having all of them, right? I know, like, I'll come to this part. Like, you have favorites in the guests as well. So all the guests were there in this, like Lizeth, she was wonderful. And also, what did we say? Like, some of them, I forgot their names.
That was a really, really good episode. I enjoyed that one a lot.
Yes. So she was a brave woman fighting for the human trafficking cause, sex trafficking, and they are doing great, right? So they just honored us. That's how like I felt like when they all came together and shared their stories. New thing for me, like, so that's why like I picked this one. Though I liked all the guests and I thank all of them, I prefer this one, like, because so that I can fit in all the people in one. So that's one of the reasons.
Yeah, that was a good episode. Like, not only, like you said, because of all the guests and the subject matter and talking about racism and, generational trauma in America. I thought that was a really insightful episode, but also what you were saying with me and Melissa, where I think in our earlier episodes, you know, we tended to stick more to the script, and that was fine for those shows when we were first kind of getting started. But then after a while, you know, you kind of took the training wheels off and let me and Melissa kind of steer the show, even though, you know, you still were there to make sure we didn't go too far off track. But I think allowing me and Melissa a little bit more freedom just brought out our personalities more, and, you know, made the show feel a little bit more natural to what, you know, Melissa and I did.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Again, now it's your turn.
Yes. Well, speaking of being natural and, you know, just allowing me and Melissa to be ourselves, I want to go to December 27th of 2020, JK, because that was our Christmas episode that almost got us kicked off of YouTube because of Mariah Carey. But like, that was a really fun episode where I had my Christmas sweater on, and Melissa and I just talked about, you know, our Christmases growing up and you know, just fond memories and things of that nature. And I think what made that episode special to me, JK, is even as bad as last year was and as lonely and isolated as a lot of people felt, there's still a lot of things that connect us. And, you know, Christmas and the holiday season is one of the things that kind of can bring us together.
Dumb Now, a social experiment enterprise.
Absolutely.
Welcome.
Yes. This time again, guys, I will be very honest, and I guessed it right. So I was going to say that, like, because you were going to tease with this guest, Barbara and James. I have to thank him so much as well.
Yes.
He was a wonderful guest as well. And as you put it out, right, this was again an eye opener, and I know this is your favorite. That's why I didn't pick this one. I'll be honest. And it kind of gave me an idea like how to run the YouTube channel, so what we shouldn't be doing it. So like we were playing this song, right? So let's see like how
Yeah, so yeah, Marvin, James, we had a challenge like to help folks out during this holiday season, and you know, I worked at a soup kitchen for a week, and Melissa is out here donating stuff.
That's right. I forgot I worked at the soup kitchen. Like that's how long ago that was, JK. Like I forget things that just happened last Christmas.
We've all had it rough.
Yes.
Great connection, Melissa. So I think that's a good word. Brought up this.
Absolutely. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel to receive a special gift from us. Oh, that's not in the song. Okay, I'm gonna listen to this. Bye for now.
Yes.
so
You're gonna get us kicked off of YouTube again for playing the song again.
this time not. Like I learned the trick. So you can fool me around like for 2 times and not the third time. Like I don't know.
Not the third.
So we learned it like in Agree to Disagree, where we were playing out the YouTube, and again it landed into a violation. So I realized like, okay, this copyright thing is serious. We can't do that.
Yes.
But you can trick them out, right? It's like AI thing, the technology where people play it for a few seconds and then like just stop it, like so that it cannot scan every other things. Something like that. Anyway, that was fun, real fun time we had. And moving on, so we have 2 more.
Yes, yeah, because you said 3 and I've said 3.
Okay, so what will be the 4th one? You want to pick?
I'll let you go. I'm interested to see where you go with this.
All right, so I would say that there is so much. Oh my goodness!
Because I think I know one. I'm torn in between a few because we've had so many good guests, like just kind of going back through and so many good conversations. You know, like with Carl when Carl was on, and with who's the name? What's the name of our satanic humanist? I thought he was a good guest.
Steve, yes.
Steve, yeah.
Yeah. So yes, I will let that we can mention those all of their guest names as well. And I would think I picked this one. The reason you all bailed me out at the time, and I had to do it alone. Right? I was a bit scared, and that too with a lawyer, attorney, right? So he was quite passionate. He and another John, both of them were. I liked both of them because it was a longer conversation for almost 1 hour. I did that with him alone. It looked like I am taking my case to him. But I enjoyed it, and he really opened my eyes to various issues that we were discussing about, and made that realization that nothing can be done because law is so complicated and is messed up. So that's why I wanted to play it a little bit down and pick that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I think that's part of why I've enjoyed this past year, JK, is, not only can we have fun on this show, but, we can get some answers and talk about some issues that maybe don't get discussed enough. So whenever we had a chance to speak to a lawyer or somebody that was an expert in a field, I thought that was a really interesting conversation to have.
All right, so it's your turn.
All right, so again, there's so many. I know who I want my last choice to be, but the question is, who do I give my second to last choice to be? That's the big question here. So I think I'm going to go a little bit more recent, JK.
Okay.
I'm going to go a little bit more recently, and I want to say, if I remember correctly, and that's the other part. I'm relying on memory for the dates or where I'm looking. And
I'm sharing the screen. You can pick from. You can see it. I know. I'm guessing this time, the fourth time down for me. I'll guess.
But I think we got to go to. You know what? Yes. It's like what's the game? Deal or no deal, where you have to lock in your.
Yes.
You have to lock in your bet.
You're taking a long time. That's it. I'm locking.
Yes. But I'm gonna lock in. I think I'm gonna lock it in. I'm locking in my bet. And that was when. Was this one just me? Was Melissa there that day?
Which one?
3 months ago, May 15th, 2021, with Lizeth.
Yes, that was I suspected, but I didn't guess. So.
Okay, yeah. That was just me. That was just me.
You and me. Alone.
Yes, you and me talking to Lizeth, and I think Lizeth is one of those people, JK, that I always enjoy talking to.
Yes, it was a favorite moment.
Enterprise. Hi, and welcome to Stop Now.
Lizeth, how are you?
She beats it to it, JK. She beats it to the punch.
Yeah.
Even in that little clip, you can see there's a good rapport that we have with Lizeth.
Exactly. So I knew that, but I didn't guess this time. I'll be honest. Right? I don't know because I picked already all the guests, so I thought we will go for somebody else. But anyway, that was a nice pick, and as you said, right, the rapport was good, and we did a comeback. And again, she was so passionate again, whatever she does. And that was an excellent show as well. Okay, now
you got your last choice, pick number 5.
That's special mentions. I would say I liked Heron Stone, Harold D'Souza, and even Lisa Yuchi. Everybody's
I almost picked Harold for my last one because I enjoyed the conversation we had with Harold D'Souza.
Yes, I was going to say that. Like it's hard, like right. So when you have so many options,
Yeah.
so many good guests, so it's hard, like for us, like to pick any one. It's like picking your favorite child from all the childs, right? So you love all
Yeah.
your kids, and you have to pick one. That's not going to happen. Even Josh Zeppos, which Shiva also helped us out there,
Hmm.
and those things. This is kind of a tough one. Even Kevin, right? Kevin was a wonderful guest, like
Yeah.
he returning guest, like a couple of times we did with him. So I enjoyed that. Even Ida, like that was an eye-opening. I never thought I will do that.
Who was our guest in up in Canada? Ramses. Ramses was a fun guest.
Yes, I was hoping to get him back, but for some reason I'm not able to. I'll try to do that. He was also a wonderful guest. Even Cesare, like got associated with him for, oh my goodness, so many people, right?
The gentleman from Cleveland.
Honesty. Matt.
Yeah, Radical Honesty was great. The gentleman from Cleveland that was the reporter.
Yes, that's I was going to say that Christopher, right? And
yes, yep. Christopher was really great.
Yeah, he was wonderful, and I enjoyed that. Carl is a special man. He was again a returning one when we had like, I think you were not there at that time. So this was, I will pick with him because I love this guy. So Dr. Daryl Ray's show.
Co-host over here, JK, say hey.
So this is how like Melissa was teasing me, like teaching me how to be a co-host. That's why I picked this. And Dr. Daryl Ray, who's a founder and president of Recovering from Religion, was written a book on sex and God, and his talk shows are wonderful. And he's a great guy. So I like him very much. So that's why like I picked this one as my final.
Yeah, and then I think like a guest like Carl was always fun to have because, you know, obviously Carl has a particular point of view, but he was always engaged in the conversation and open to having a discussion. And I think that's the best part of any dialogue, JK, is, you know, you can have different opinions, but, you know, you have to be willing to at least sit down and talk with somebody.
Exactly, right. So that is how I learned things, right? Because I am very emotional and strong with my points and disagree and make people get pissed off with me. Like I do this all the time. And as you said, Carl and Dr. Daryl Ray, they all are so experienced with their age, and the way you have to talk with people, I learned a lot from them. So that's why like I picked this one. And he was not well at the time, but still he gave us like almost an hour of talk show. That was wonderful. And I thank him so much. This is my last. So now it's
that's
your
a good five. All right, for mine, I will say I want to, you know, you mentioned a couple of the other guests we've had. I want to give an honorable mention to the talk show just from a couple of weeks ago that Cole and I did with Kevin McNeil. Because I think like Kevin is a really interesting person to talk to, and you can tell that he really cares about, you know, victims and victims' rights and helping victims recover. So anytime we can talk to Kevin is a good episode. But I want to give my last pick to somebody that, again, I think this might have just been a Nate and JK episode. I don't know if Melissa was there, but I want to go back a couple months, JK, to where is it? Where's the date? Okay, I want to go back to June 12th, 2021. And that's when you and I sat down with Dr. Celia Williamson.
Yeah.
And I think like she was just such a knowledgeable guest and is able to talk about these difficult topics in a way that people can relate to, JK.
Dealers, traffickers, and then built the first direct service program for survivors in Ohio. And today I run the Human Trafficking and Social Justice Institute at the University of Toledo. I'm a researcher and community organizer.
And I guess before we get deeper into this, there's a question that I've always had, and maybe some of our viewers have had, Dr. Williamson, when it comes to some of the guests that we've had talk about this issue, modern day slavery. And we've done a bunch of shows on this particular topic. And I would say at least 4 or 5 of our guests have been from Ohio. And as somebody just kind of on the outside looking in, that doesn't seem to be the place where you would assume this would happen. I know a lot of people think maybe Florida or Texas or California, maybe New York, but what is it about Ohio that makes this a prevalent issue there?
So I'll be again right on this. I guessed it like that. It's going to be Dr. Celia Williamson, and I know that like you mentioned it, and also this time I guessed it right. And I was thinking like Kevin McNeil or this one. That was my guess. And you sounded like you are an expert already, like whenever like we pick on any topic. That's what I love about it, like Nate. And that was a wonderful episode. And even she asked us, like she's a great resource on human trafficking. She runs a program and she does a podcast, and she has been doing it like for quite a long time. And she invited us as well. So that was the special mention. And I really thank them. And not just her, like, and even others, right? I forgot to mention those special mentions of the victims as well, right? Coral Anika Thiel, and also Amanda Garza, and even Dr. Jim Will. So I don't want to leave out anyone. Leonsa, like that was also nice.
Yeah, he was really good.
Mentioned like he is a very talented young psychotherapist. And even Christina Taft, though our audio, like we had a problem, and that was a good moment as well. So I really enjoyed all of them, right? So I think I'm just trying to make sure I don't miss out anyone.
Yeah, I think we did a really good job, and when I say we, I mean mainly you, did a really good job of finding different guests and guests that can speak on these difficult topics and do it in a way that is very informative, but also, like with Dr. Williamson or with Liseth or with Kevin, can talk about really important issues and make it entertaining too. Because, we had a good conversation, even if the topics were kind of heavy.
Yeah, absolutely, Nate. So that is, again, I will play out some of our team promo videos we all did. A couple of them were there. Like we wanted to do more, but due to lesser resources, that's why like we are opening up the doors for more volunteers and freelancers to get paid as well. Even I wanted to mention a special mention for the last a couple of weeks where Cold White was there, like he also volunteered, and he did a couple of shows we really enjoyed. But again, for various reasons, people drop out, no hard feelings on those things, but still we enjoyed those things. And we started doing the TED circles, and with last week, like with Josh Brooks, that was also a wonderful thing, right? So all those things have been so fond of. Like, I don't think like even we can go over this like after 5 years or something, and it will still be in our memory. So that is the good part on these platforms, where we can go back and revisit and enjoy it. And it has become a stop now family kind of thing. And that is all for this episode.
Real quick, I just want to say, JK, like I think this was really fun, kind of looking back at the memories. And the crazy thing is, we're just like 4 months away from, last year we did our top 10 of 2020 episode. We're 4 months away from doing the top 10 of 2021. That's how quickly this year has kind of gone by. And so like, I think just, thank you to all the guests that were able to make time to come on the show. There were sometimes I think we talked to people who were in their cars because they were going from one meeting to another, and they had to make time for the show and call in from their vehicles, or, they're dealing with kids in the other room. And so, thank you to the guests for making time, and, the team here, and, Melissa and Cole and Gary and Shiva and all the people that have been on the show. And like you said, like, if there's somebody out there that wants to volunteer or has some talent, whether it's writing or, editing or whatever it could be, being in front of the camera, get in contact with JK and reach out, because we definitely need all the hands on deck we can get to talk more about these issues and bring more awareness to a lot of the social injustices out there, so we can try to make things better, JK.
Yes, I can't agree more. And this been a wonderful thing. And I thought, like, did we miss anyone, any special mention? So something like we are forgetting about any one guest. Do you think we missed it out? That's a challenge, right? So if we can see, that's one of the things I wonder, right? How people have so strong memory, like that happened 20 years, 30 years, 40 years before in their life. And even 1 year is a long time. It looks like we have been doing this forever.
Yeah, like you said, we've got over 52 episodes up on the YouTube page now. And so, just the channel keeps getting bigger. The connections and the networking with a lot of these various foundations is getting bigger. So I'm sure, like, it's not intentional, but I'm sure there's probably at least one person that we've forgotten about. Jason was on the episode with Steve. Jason and Steve did a couple of, I think they might have done 2 episodes with us, JK.
Yes, you remembered. You got one. And I remembered one other person. Interesting, like AK, Armand King. Do you remember
Yes, yeah.
Right. He was so, that is unforgettable. Like
he was really good. Yeah, the pimp. Yes.
I remember that, like, that, like, he was not me like, oh no, you don't know that, like, what it means. And Martinez, like the human trafficking lawyer, like, she was wonderful. Like, some of them, like, I just remember, like, though I was scanning through all the videos, somehow we missed those things. Like, those things I wanted to put that out. And that's one other thing, like, as you mentioned, Nate, like, we have to bring in more bloggers. And also we have to do more work, and we need volunteers. And I want bloggers who are writing to also come on our talk shows and share our experiences, which we can do that. And I'm trying to be more open with others as well. And some of them from international countries, like, they reached out saying that, like, they wanted to join our team. And I'm trying to pull them in, and some new members are going to come in. So that's the future. We are looking forward. Again, no hard feelings. Those who are missing out, you can always come back, and we are ready to engage with you, and we can rock and roll. With that, we will do our final band song, Nate. What is that like? Out, or you give me that, like,
I was gonna say, you're gonna put another song out there that's gonna get us flagged by YouTube.
Not the song. We can create our own, so that will be our. So what,
whoever's out, like, I know there's somebody out there that's a musician. Like, if you volunteer your time and help us make a Stop Now song.
Yes. So.
But as Melissa would say if she's here, though, JK, like somebody's got to keep a watch on the time. So we have to wrap up for this episode. But this has been really fun, just kind of looking back and seeing where we started and where we began with the shows and where we are now, and where we're eventually going to go. Like, I think that it's all a part of the process, and it's been a fun part of my week, JK, and I'm looking forward to seeing not only where we go, but also who comes along for the ride and what new team members we meet along the way.
All right, so let me play out the intro thing again and wrap our episode.
Stop Now, a social experiment enterprise. Stop, listen, share. Everyone can make a difference. We are on a mission. Everyone should do something greater in their lifetime. Change the future. Be a proud member. Join us to support, volunteer, and donate.